Sometimes I create mazes and sometimes they have hidden messages in them. This one here is one of them. But before we get into that one, let's look at some others so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. All right. Here's a maze I did of my lovely mother. When you solve it, it spells out the word radical. Here's a real simple one. It spells out T-U-R-D, herd. All right. Here's a nice little one. Looks like weird. It's a quick one. Here's one that looks like a very good boy. When you spell this one, we got Funny. Here's one I did for a competition for the hotel where The Shining was filmed. So, of course, when you solve this one, it spells out Red Rum. Here's one I did for some reason that looks like the Taco Bell logo. And when you spell that out, it spells out Poopy Pants Express. Here's one early on, me trying to do this. It looks pretty obvious. Spells out thank you. But and then here's the one we're getting into today. We'll talk about how I made this maze from scratch. But yeah, when you solve this one, it spells out a very important message. And well, if you have a problem with this message, then maybe this video isn't for you. But it spells out Freepalestine. Free Palestine. All right, so we'll talk about how I made this maze right here. But the first thing you want to think about is how you want to write out your message. You got to think about these letters in a way that you can write the letters all in one consistent line without picking up your pen, because that's the way mazes work. So there are some examples of some letters and how to write out cat, and then thinking about how to link those letters together. Here's a couple different ways where that could work. You could go straight across, all right, but that might make your maze a little too obvious. But so you can try some of those other methods there. I play around with that a bit before you get right into making your maze. But so here's how I figured out Free Palestine all in one path. All right, mark my start, mark my finish. And then what I need to do is I need to make that single line path a path that somebody can get inside of, like a maze. So I'm going to do that right there. All right. Now that's your basic path. And from there, what you want to do is start making some wrong directions. What I start doing first is making wrong directions that look like letters. So that way somebody might get a sense that there is a hidden message in there, but there's so many different letters going so many different places, it can't quite see what it is. It took me a while to kind of figure that little tip out. So I had a whole bunch of those. All right. And then what I want to do is I want to kind of zoom in, erase some spots, make some other wrong directions that don't necessarily look like letters. This is kind of the fun part, because the shapes can kind of look however you want them to do. Have fun with little bumpy shapes, sharp shapes, throw some graffiti style kind of things in there if you can, and have some fun with that. What you don't want to do, and here I'm showing this right here, is you don't want to accidentally connect one part of your solution to another part of your solution, because then that'll add a second path that somebody can use to solve your maze. And that kind of defeats the purpose of having a hidden message in your solution. All right, so avoid doing this. All right. So I do eventually fix this. All right, I think I'm going to do that right about now. So if you do that by accident, it's okay. Just you want to test your mazes a little bit before you send them out in the world and try to get whatever message it is you're trying to get across. But yeah, then I just kind of do that all over the place, really fill it in till I like the look of it. You can fill in the whole sheet of paper. I kind of like keeping it just a random abstract shape. And then what I do is I add another piece of paper, turn on my light board, get my Sharpie, retrace it on a new piece so it's nice and clean and crisp and clear. And then that's basically it. You can make photocopies of it, give it to people, wheat paste on things, have some fun with it. All right. That's how to hide a message in a maze. Enjoy.